Oliver industrial loader backhoe with a shop-made rollover protection system. It's got a diesel engine, not sure who makes the diesel. Doesn't look like a Detroit. Maybe a Perkins. The light's not so good out here today. Got a nice loader on the front of it. Good sized loader. Battery mounted in a box on the side here. It originally had two 6-volt batteries. Now it's running off of a, well, it was two 6s in series, so now it's a 12. Oh, we got an alternator. Got a little pump here. I wonder if that's for the power steering. Oil filter, fuel filter, voltage regulator. What do we got there? Oh, I see. This must be the cable that goes to some kind of a heating element in there to act like a glow plug or air box heater. And goes to the intake. Get a big filter canister up there. Well, I'm not gonna win any awards for looks, but it might be a runner. Going back today with my battery, see if we can't start that old Oliver. And let's see if I can remember where the owner walked me down onto his property to see it the other day, because it's way down in the back here, on the back 40. Somewhere. Alright, I remember this pond, so I know we're going in the right direction. Oh, there it is. That big shop-made cab, or rollover protection, or whatever you want to call it, for lack of a better term, is kind of a dead giveaway. It sticks out like a skeleton. I had to put the camera now while I crossed that little area there because it was a little too hairy. Alright. I guess I'm not going to go any further because there's some rocks there. Talk about some nice stuff. There's a Farmy winch, or whatever brand it is, but it's like a Farmy winch. If you've never seen one of these, this basically turns your farm tractor into a skid steer. It's got a PTO driven powerful cable winch, and this blade, you lower it down and it digs into the ground, so that as you're pulling your log up with the cable winch, it digs into the ground and keeps the tractor from being pulled backwards. And then you can actually hook on more than one log at a time, so you can fell multiple trees back there and skid them all up to one position. It's a real nice piece of equipment to have if you're felling logs, felling trees. Nice post hole digger. John Deere, nothing runs like a deer. PTO driven chipper. It's a pretty good size one. Manure wagon. There's an old sawmill back there. Disc harrow. It's at a model 105. John Deere disc harrow. York rake. Nice MX6 brush hog. That's in really good shape. Uses that all the time. And what are we here for? The Oliver. Trying to figure out what the heck this was. Ended up getting some manuals he gave me for it and looking through it. I originally thought it was a 770 diesel, but now I'm thinking it's actually earlier than that. But we'll get to that in a moment. And of course, Yeah, it's got some kind of a funky deal there on the front end, the way that loader was. I don't know. Alright, well, you can get a better look at it if I get it out of here. So, alright, so he was kind enough to spray the hornet's nests and the wasp nests for me. So, I'll go grab my battery and see. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is put on some bug spray. The mosquitoes are awful. He had left the battery disconnected, but it has been sitting for such a long time. It's serviced in 11/20/05, so that's an old battery. I just actually checked it. It's got 11 volts on it with no load, so that's going to be too light. That's not going to crank this thing. So I'm not even going to bother trying with this one. I'm just going to disconnect this one and throw in my big truck battery. Oddly enough, I can't see any markings on this battery as to which terminal's which. I'm assuming this is the negative terminal on the right here, because this grounds right to the frame. So this should go in the negative terminal, unless this is a 12 volt positive ground ignition system, which is pretty rare, so I kind of doubt it. So I think I'll be alright. Now, he had warned me that he kind of had to hot wire this thing to get it to start. I guess he was having problems with the key switch here, so I'm going to have to do the same, I'm sure. See if I can't figure out the wiring. Alright, this thing's got an alternator in it for the charging system, and it's got a bunch of other electrics that are, due to the wiring, condition of the wiring, probably don't even work anyways. So I'm thinking maybe first position of the switch just turns 12 volts onto here and livens up all the electrics. And then I'm thinking these two heavy white wires here are probably to your solenoid. So I'm thinking grounding one to the other should turn it over. So let's see what happens if I touch these together with a jumper. A lot of sparks. When I saw this big push button here, I thought this was the starter, and he explained to me that no, that this actually goes to that pre-warmer, that coil that preheats the combustion air to help start it. But he always just used ether. Yeah, my problem was my wimpy jumper wire. Got this piece of copper I had in the truck, and I just bumped the starter. I just pulled this cap. It slides right off here, off the top of the intake, which is nice. I can spray my ether right down in there. There was actually wild grapevine all over this right here. It was actually growing into that. Alright, gonna have to put the camera down, but at least I can leave it running. Maybe you can hear it. Cranking slow. Try to give it some throttle maybe. That sounds like it's cranking way too slow to start this thing. I tried retightening the battery cables. Try one more time. Shoot. Well, he's got a battery booster pack. Let me see if I can get that from him. It lived. It's funny, when you're cranking it, it makes a terrible knocking noise. Yeah. But when it's running, it sounds fine. Yeah.
It never failed to start, even after I left the system. 2 years was. Still starting.
Now that's a shuttle shift on the left there, right? So if I...
You're gonna put this in here first.
Yeah.
Then let's forward it. You want to move it out of here?
No, I'll try it. Well, it's up to you. You might...
At least I remember, see if I remember how to do it.
Alright. Alright, so he's been gracious enough to move it out for me because I've never driven it before. Yeah, she's a smoker, that's for sure. I like that. He said this thing's never failed to start for him. They're cranking it, it made some real clunking, and it was kind of scary. But as soon as it started up, all the engine noise, all the really scary engine noise went away. All right, so he just raised the loader, so the hydraulics are working, and now he's spinning a wheel. So this doesn't have a. It's got a differential lock. Yeah, kind of stuck in there from being in there so long. It's got like a gear shift on the floor to select the range, and then it's got like this shuttle shift deal on the column. Whew. That's smoke. Sounds like maybe something's getting into the fan. You can't beat that with a stick. Well, I stalled it trying to lift the loader and having the throttle down too low, and then we couldn't restart the damn battery. It's just too dead. So I'm going to charge up and come back. A few days later, we're going to try and attach the backhoe to it.